All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another thrilling edition of the program. In this episode of I Can't Be we are going to be working on this Toyota HiLux, and a very nice one at that. So customer saw a bunch of my social media stuff and he wanted me to work on the car because he knows he's going to get good quality and guaranteed work. But the main point is he's actually providing all the parts for this job. And not only that, he's actually providing a seriously high quality bunch of stuff because he's a smart man and he doesn't want to mess around. So actually, we're going to start with the brake lines. He's actually upgraded to some braided brake lines, steel brake lines, whatever you want to call them. Why would you do this? Because you get a seriously improved pedal feel. These actually are a braided line with the protective sleeve. And a lot of the times when people upgrade the brake lines, they don't realize that they have to meet the SA J1401 standards. And obviously, they're designed to fit a 2-inch lift. Now you're probably wondering, how is Andrew so damn smart? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's simple. You just have to read the brochure. But in all seriousness, upgrading to a braided brake line increases the pedal feel, especially in these dual cabs, quite a bit. Pads we're going to be running are these DBA Extreme Performances, another excellent choice, coupled with the DBA slotted 4000 series rotors, and that would be a T3 rotor, just to be clear. Now what's interesting is the customer is actually using the exact same combination that he's replacing it with that he previously had on the vehicle. And as you can see, he has definitely got the life out of these. And down in there too. Just for reference, he's told me that when he last replaced them, he actually got over 100,000 Ks out of them, just. Now, something to note that it's not just about the kilometers, but it's the driving he's doing. He is going off-road. He does have a little bit of weight in the back, and he has decided, in my opinion, to spend the money where it counts. Now, something to note when doing these HiLux brakes is just to be aware of. So this is what you would call a cartridge style caliper, which means that you don't actually disconnect the caliper from the caliper mounting bracket. You can see it's all just one solid piece. And if you look here, you can see the brake pads are definitely getting low. So because of this design and because of the way Toyota was and kind of still is when it comes to this kind of work, it's extremely straightforward. In fact, it does only have 3 bolts connecting it to the vehicle. So I actually just finished explaining to the customer one little detail I see on a lot of these HiLuxes, I see a lot of these cruisers, that when it comes to the brakes, you tell me if you've seen this before, but I've seen it multiple times and, well, I feel like it does make a difference. If you look here, this spring here, I suppose what you would call it is your anti-rattle spring, something to this effect. I've gone to vehicles with the springs on one side and with the springs not on one side, and the side that the spring is not on tends to wear down way quicker, so much faster actually. I've seen it on multiple jobs where if it doesn't have that anti-rattle spring, or maybe even you want to call it compression spring because it's pushing the pads off the actual rotor, they wear down twice as fast, meaning that the side that does have the spring has about 50% meat left, while the side that doesn't have the spring is down to the metal. But hey, could be wrong, but just something I've noticed you might want to be aware of. All right, let's get into it. All of this hardware that's on it is actually a factory hardware piece. A lot of the time you'll see these little clips, these retainers are actually missing, and someone just puts a little bit of wire in there so these don't fall out. Pull the pins out. Now, because we're not using this rotor again, I'm going to loosen off the actual brake pads by just using a screwdriver and levering them in a bit to push the pistons in to remove them. From there, simply just pull them out. Just to give you an idea of the actual pad depth. Remember though, we have to change these brake lines, and because we do not want to get brake fluid on our new stuff, we're going to be doing the line first. So it's got these retainers that hold the actual brake line on. Before we totally remove it, we're going to crack this. I do have a oil pan underneath, and I do have the other brake line ready. There isn't much you can do to mitigate the amount of fluid that falls. With that one loose, then you can pull this tab out. Let that drain there. Fluid, it will be getting everywhere, gentlemen. Don't freak out. Anyway, same thing on this. Also, obviously you just spray it down with brake cleaner and then spray it down at the car wash or something like this after. But anyway, this is a reference. This is what we're looking at. Much better. Now if you can, definitely go for a few threads first. So this top line was actually extremely difficult to get off. Like the flare on this actual nut here is extremely aggressive and won't, like I had to rip it off. And now trying to, like the bottom one goes on straight. I was just showing the customer just then. But why won't you go on? Why are you being like that? Still here. The flare on this ain't going. I'm pulling this line off and we're gonna have a better look. I'm gonna show you guys in a minute, but this is the bad one. It's really aggressively flared out. Where this one here ain't so bad. This is correct. This is the good side. If they're universal, which, and by universal I mean they're the same thread pitch. This should go in, yeah, smoothly by hand. See, that's in. I just obviously tighten it up. But this one, don't want to do that. Let me think about this. All right, now like most things, a bit of persistence gets you where you gotta go. This is now fitting correctly. What's happened is, again, this flare seems to be a bit average. So, because the customer is the man and he's really cool, I was doing the other side and he just ran a little bit of sandpaper along the actual outside edge of the flare and now it's fitting. So let's throw this together really quick because I want to get out of here. Moment of truth, will this fit? I think it's working. Really well, actually. It's not binding up. Nice and smooth. Obviously you want to thread it in, and that's why I found out really quick. You want to thread them in by hand like so. Because if I were to do it the other way and I didn't check, well, we would have been in a lot of strife, to be honest with you. It's working sweet, man. That'll work. I don't think it's like really well, actually. So I think we're out of the woods. You saved us. You saved me again.
This is why you get professional.
Yeah, right. This is just why you don't try to become one. Because then you fucking end up spitting the dummy. Now that's in there and up here, and then this is the one I loosened off so I could take this whole hard line out. But we're pretty good now. Spoke to the customer before as well. You've probably seen there's a shitload of brake fluid everywhere. Not to worry. Gonna just clean it off with some brake cleaner, a lot of it. Spray it down with the hose, clean it off again, and then I've recommended to him take it to the car wash and then hit it with the high pressure soap. This will stop all issues of corrosion and anything like that. But anyway, let's get back to the video. If you are still with us watching me do this, now it's time to actually change the rotors and pads, the whole point of this video. So I'm going to remove this top bolt here. From there I've turned it out so then I can actually get to the bolts. So I'm going to chuck that there and we're going to actually remount this caliper. Now with the caliper actually mounted up, we can compress the pistons. How are we going to do this? This is the tool I use. It's my actual brand. I sell these. Hit the link down below. They work really well on this style of setup. Why do you want to use something like this? Well, because there's 4 pistons and if one is stuck, you're going to want to know about it. But anyway, so this is how it works. You just put the tool in and then you simply just compress the pistons like so. How easy is that? Now this will go wide enough to do this, no problem. Just like that, this has been compressed. And you put it in reverse and then remove it. If you want one, hit the link below and I'll send you one. This caliper, and what's good about it being mounted, you can actually really get into it without having to hold it one hand and do it, because it's really awkward, as you can imagine, with these hard lines everywhere. So hold your breath. From there, spray the brake caliper down with a bunch of brake cleaner. Wipe it down, get all that excess grit, grime, debris off, all that dirt, because the new pads will need somewhere to go. Same with this, spray down the hub and this backing plate. From there, we're going to clean this hub up now. The usual, give it a scrub until you've removed all of this corrosion. Then we can put some anti-seize on it. Hit it with some brake cleaner. Now we're going to put some anti-seize on the face of the hub. This just stops the rotor from sticking. Also stops corrosion building up. That is good. Hang this brake caliper up now, because now we need to install the rotor. It'll tell you to spray down some brake cleaner. Don't go crazy and spray it down with some brake cleaner all over the hub. Or remove the paint, and they don't want you to do that. You just want to wipe it down. Now, because we actually prepared everything earlier, we can just throw it all back together. It's been prepared. We are just going to put a small amount of grease on the back of these pads. The reason we do this is so the piston does not stick to it, and so we do not have issues like uneven brake pad wear, etc. So the way we're going to be doing this is, this doesn't have the wear indicator on it, so this one's going to go on the outside. And it should slide in just like that. Same with this one. So this does have the wear indicator. Now I tend to face the wear indicator down, just because that's what I see them do at the Toyota factory. So that seems like as good a reason as any. There, you got these pins here. Give them the old scrub, just because you want them to slide through easy, so then they can move if they need to. Like everything we do with the brakes, it has to be smooth. It has to move. Before we reinstall this bottom pin, we have to realign this anti-rattle spring. As I mentioned before, if you don't have these in your Cruisers or HiLuxes, I highly recommend you get it, because I do notice that it does prevent a lot of premature brake pad wear. You'll know it's in the wrong way if it's touching the rotor. I call some pros because this is too difficult. Oh wait, am I recording? Alright, we are done. Pressure bled the system using this thing here. Obviously we are going to go for a test drive right now and make sure everything works good. So I'll see you then. Alright, so we are in the vehicle. Customer just has to do a couple of little things. So I'm just going to take it for a quick strap, make sure I'm happy with the way it's performing. As you guys know, I do. And get him to jump in and take it for a spin, because as long as he's happy, I'm happy. So I'm not going to go too far. Just kind of giving it a little bit of a pump. It feels really good. I'm not just saying that. Like when you get it right, with the steel braided brake lines, with the correct material and whatnot. Sure, I haven't bed them in yet, but I probably will do that and then go back to him, because as long as there's no weird play, because look, if it's hydraulically has a problem, as in it's leaking, you feel it really quickly. But quadruple checked everything, and with the pressure bleeder, it really makes bleeding everything and pressure checking everything for leaks a hell of a lot easier. So I'm going to hit the brakes, start to really get them warm. That feels really good. I mean, it's about as good as you're ever going to get. Like, this isn't a brand new HiLux, but it performs exceptionally well. I'm going to finish in the bedding in process, grab the customer and wrap this up. Good news, it ain't leaking. We're still at max. I'm not surprised though. Right, we're going to do it from this angle because too many people are getting in it but me. So customer's driving, and I explained to him I bed the brakes in, everything feels good. I triple, quadruple checked on leaks, it's full, but ultimately it's up to him what he decides. I don't know what they felt like before. If it feels the same, that's good. If it feels bad or worse, that's not good. If it feels better, that's really good.
Feels.
Uh-oh.
No, it just feels. Feels a little bit soft, but it feels like it stops a lot better.
They're really hot at the moment.
Oh, which is while they.
Yeah, I that's why I did 2 laps to try and really cool them down.
No, I'm pretty happy. Happy.
Sweet. I don't just want you to say you're happy. I want you to really be happy. As long as you're happy, I'm happy. Customer's driven it. We're going to get the final verdict. I don't want mixed reviews. Happy, Mr. Customer?
I'm very happy.
But you already knew that. Thanks so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, check out the other stuff. If you want to get in contact with me, hit up this Facebook page here. If you want to buy something from the store, jump down below. And if you want to email me down below. I also have a members section. Sign up, check it out. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.